Imagine a room in which you stand quietly. You are neither the loud voice nor the most visible presence. Yet, people defer to your word. They listen, not because they necessarily like you, they may not even warm to you, but because they recognize something in your bearing. An unshakable self-possession, a clarity of intention and a presence that quietly commands respect. This is the art of being respected without being liked. It is not about charisma, charm, or flattering smiles. It is about something deeper, a structural inner authority, a self-governance that others sense and respond to, often unconsciously. Centuries ago, Niccolo Machiavelli carved out a lens through which power and influence could be seen not as brute force, but as a subtle architecture of mind and character. He understood that respect does not always flow from affection, that others can honor you even when they don't warm to your personality. He wrote of princes, yes, but the same psychology applies in everyday life, in the workplace, in friendships, and in your internal habits. In this video, we will walk through 6 principles drawn from Machiavelli's philosophy, sharpened by modern psychology and grounded in everyday life. These are not manipulation tricks, rather, they are practices of personal sovereignty, cultivating such clarity, competence, boundary, and character that others respect you, not because you win their favor necessarily, but because you have earned their quiet recognition. If you are ready to step into a mode of self-respect that echoes outward into how others treat you, without begging for their approval, then deepen your breath, soften your mind, and let us begin. Number 1, competence before affection. Machiavelli understood a timeless truth about human psychology. People don't have to like you to respect you. What truly commands respect is consistency, reliability, and visible mastery. In his book, The Prince, Machiavelli explained that a ruler should focus on appearing competent and steadfast in his duties, even if his people fear or dislike him. This principle still applies today, not just to rulers, but to anyone seeking authority in modern life, managers, entrepreneurs, or professionals. Respect, in essence, is built on perception and performance. When people witness you fulfilling your commitments, handling pressure calmly, and maintaining control over your emotions, they naturally begin to trust your leadership, whether they feel warmth toward you or not. Think of the quiet co-worker who rarely engages in office chatter, but always delivers flawless work before deadlines. Others may call him distant or even cold, yet when a crisis strikes, he's the one everyone turns to. That's the power of competence. It silently demands respect. Psychology supports this notion through what's known as the competence model of leadership. Studies in social cognition reveal that competence is one of the 2 fundamental dimensions on which people evaluate others, the other being warmth. While warmth might make people like you, competence earns their confidence and admiration. In professional and hierarchical environments, competence often outweighs likability because it signals reliability and capability, traits that ensure collective success. Even in social dynamics, research shows that individuals perceived as skilled or disciplined naturally ascend in status, regardless of their social charm. This explains why people might not invite the competent colleague to casual gatherings, but still hold his opinions in high regard. It's also why Machiavelli cautioned against trying to be loved more than respected. Love is emotional and fickle, while respect is rational and enduring. Emotional bonds can break under pressure, but A reputation for reliability creates stability and long-term authority. So in modern terms, to embody Machiavelli's wisdom is to master your domain with quiet confidence, show up consistently, fulfill your promises, and speak with intention. Let your results do the talking. You don't need everyone's affection to lead effectively. You need their belief in your ability. Over time, this kind of credibility becomes your armor. Even those who envy or misunderstand, you cannot deny your strength, because respect rooted in competence transcends personal feelings. It's not about being liked, it's about being undeniable. Number 2, the power of quiet confidence. The absence of neediness is one of the most magnetic traits a person can possess. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago when he observed that a ruler who did not crave approval or affection commanded far greater loyalty than one who did. In The Prince, he wrote that it is safer to be respected than loved if one cannot be both. This wasn't a cynical remark about cruelty. It was a profound observation about human psychology. People are naturally drawn to those who appear self-contained, those who don't chase validation or fold under the weight of others' opinions. In modern social dynamics, this translates into the quiet confidence of someone who acts from a place of purpose rather than insecurity. When your actions stem from inner conviction, you radiate calm stability, an energy that is deeply reassuring in a chaotic world. Psychologists have long noted that neediness repels because it signals dependency and emotional imbalance. Research in attachment theory shows that individuals with anxious attachment styles often seek excessive reassurance, which paradoxically pushes people away. By contrast, people with secure attachment project self-trust, and this steadiness draws others toward them. The same principle applies to leadership, friendships, and even attraction. The less you seek external validation, the more naturally you command respect. When you're comfortable being alone, others sense that your approval isn't easily bought, and that scarcity increases its value. In practical terms, this presence shows up in small, everyday interactions. In meetings, for instance, the person who speaks only when they have something meaningful to say often leaves a stronger impression than the one constantly filling the air with words. Silence, when backed by self-assurance, speaks volumes. It signals that you don't need to dominate attention to feel important. Similarly, maintaining eye contact, holding a composed posture, and allowing pauses before responding demonstrate that you're not rushing to impress. These subtle signals convey control, thoughtfulness, and authority. What makes this approach powerful is its simplicity. The absence of neediness isn't about arrogance or emotional coldness. It's about mastery over one's impulses. When you no longer crave validation, you act with freedom. Your energy feels lighter, your words carry more weight, and your presence becomes magnetic. People are instinctively drawn to those who seem complete within themselves because they represent something rare, inner peace in a world driven by approval. As Machiavelli hinted, true influence doesn't come from demanding respect. It comes from embodying it. Number 3, boundaries without hostility. Respect grows where boundaries are clear. Niccolo Machiavelli, often misunderstood as a symbol of manipulation, actually understood one of the most profound psychological truths about leadership and human behavior. People respect those who define their limits. In The Prince, he emphasized that a leader's strength lies not just in power, but in the perception of control over one's actions, emotions, and the treatment one allows from others. In modern life, This principle remains timeless. When you fail to set boundaries, whether in friendships, the workplace, or family, people subconsciously sense a lack of self-respect. Psychology backs this up. Studies in social and behavioral science show that humans are wired to test limits. When someone continually accepts behavior that disrespects them, the other party begins to perceive them as less authoritative, less confident, and ultimately less respectable. Setting boundaries is not about dominance, it's about clarity. When you politely but firmly stop someone from interrupting you, or when you decline an unreasonable request without guilt, you're not creating conflict, you're communicating self-respect. Boundaries act as the invisible framework of healthy relationships. They protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being, much like how the walls of a home protect its inhabitants. But it's important to remember, as Machiavelli might say, that boundaries are not fortresses built from fear. They are the architecture of dignity, structures that allow respect, trust, and mutual understanding to thrive. Neuroscience also reveals an interesting aspect. People with clear boundaries exhibit lower stress levels and higher emotional intelligence. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making and self-control, activates more efficiently when individuals assert boundaries calmly and rationally. This clarity strengthens one's sense of identity and reduces social anxiety. Conversely, a lack of boundaries can lead to burnout, resentment, and diminished self-worth, because the brain remains in a constant state of defensiveness, trying to navigate others' expectations. So, whether you're leading a team or managing personal relationships, Machiavelli's wisdom applies. To earn respect, define your limits. Be polite, be kind, but never be permissive when it comes to your dignity. When others see that your boundaries are guided by principle rather than pride, they not only respect you, they begin to trust you. Because deep down, everyone respects the person who respects themselves. Number 4, neutrality in personal likings. Machiavelli's insight into human nature remains one of the most profound lessons in the psychology of respect and power. He warned that trying to be loved by everyone makes a person vulnerable because affection is fickle and often tied to circumstance. Love can shift with moods, social influence, or personal gain, but respect, once earned, tends to endure. This doesn't mean one must become cold, distant, or ruthless. Rather, it's about developing inner steadiness. The people who command respect are not those who seek constant validation, but those who operate from a clear sense of self-worth. Modern psychology supports this. Studies on social dominance and self-assurance reveal that individuals who project calm confidence without arrogance are perceived as more competent and trustworthy. When you no longer chase approval, people instinctively feel your independence and gravitate toward your authority. You create what psychologists call autonomy power, the kind of presence that signals inner stability and self-reliance. Machiavelli understood that human behavior is largely guided by perception. If you are too eager to be liked, people subconsciously register it as a weakness. They sense your need. And in social hierarchies, neediness often equals lower status. On the other hand, when you remain composed and self-assured, even under criticism, others start to measure themselves against your emotional control. They begin to respect the person who doesn't flinch, who doesn't compromise integrity for temporary favor. This is the foundation of stable power, being consistent, being fair, and being firm in principles. In leadership psychology, this is known as the authority paradox. The less you seek to be liked, the more authority you gain. Your restraint and emotional balance send a signal that you are guided by reason, not impulse. There's also a social dynamic at play here. Humans instinctively admire those who appear centered and unbothered. Anthropologically, this links back to survival instincts in tribal hierarchies. The calm, self-contained leader was perceived as more capable of making wise decisions under pressure. That same principle still operates in modern workplaces, relationships, and politics. So when Machiavelli said that being loved by everyone is dangerous, he wasn't promoting cruelty. He was advocating for emotional independence. He was reminding us that respect is built on reliability and principle, not popularity. The moment you stop performing for approval and start living with quiet confidence, you stop being controlled by others' opinions, and that's when real respect begins to take root. Number 5, appearance of integrity. Reputation is one of the most powerful forms of invisible currency we carry through life. Niccolo Machiavelli understood this centuries ago when he wrote The Prince, emphasizing that a ruler should always appear virtuous and principled, even when making hard or unpopular decisions. This insight wasn't about deception, it was about perception. In every society, perception often outweighs intention, and the same applies to our personal and professional lives today. How you handle pressure, whether you keep your promises, and the choices you make when no one is watching, quietly shape the reputation others assign to you. In psychology, this aligns with the concept of reputation capital, a social resource that determines how much trust, cooperation, and respect you can command within a community. Studies from social and behavioral psychology suggest that humans instinctively assess others based on patterns of consistency rather than isolated actions. When your words and behavior align, you signal predictability, a trait our brains associate with safety and reliability. Even those who might not like you will often respect you because consistency removes ambiguity. People know where you stand. This is why leaders, entrepreneurs, and influential figures often emphasize integrity, not because it's easy, but because it builds a form of psychological equity that endures beyond temporary success or popularity. Moreover, research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology highlights that integrity fosters long-term trust, even in situations of disagreement. People subconsciously remember those who act fairly under pressure, tell the truth when it's inconvenient, and make decisions guided by principle rather than impulse. In a modern sense, your digital footprint, how you communicate online, how you treat others publicly and privately, extends this principle into the virtual world, where reputation spreads faster than ever before. A single act of dishonesty or betrayal can undo years of credibility, while steady authenticity compounds trust like interest in a savings account. Machiavelli might argue that appearing virtuous was enough, but in a transparent age, being virtuous is what sustains you. Reputation today is both armor and currency. It protects you in moments of scrutiny and opens doors that talent alone cannot. So whether in leadership, friendship, or daily choices, remember that reputation is not built in moments of applause, but in moments of silence, when character reveals itself without witnesses. Number 6, strategic silence and observation. Machiavelli understood that silence was not a void, but a weapon, a deliberate act of restraint that reveals mastery over impulse. In his writings, particularly The Prince, he emphasized that true power lies not in constant speech, but in strategic observation. When you stay silent, you gather information. You notice tone, body language, and inconsistencies that talkers often miss. This quiet attention gives you leverage because knowledge, not noise, shapes outcomes. Modern psychology supports this. Studies on communication show that active listening increases trust and perceived intelligence. People naturally respect those who make them feel heard. It's a subconscious association with leadership and wisdom. In negotiation, silence can even trigger discomfort, pushing others to reveal more than they intended. The pause after a statement, the thoughtful delay before responding. These small acts suggest control. Silence signals composure, and composure signals confidence. It's the same principle behind why great leaders and strategists, whether in boardrooms or battlefields, often speak less and observe more. Their restraint creates an aura of mystery and authority. Others fill in the blanks with their imagination, often overestimating the quiet individual's insight. Machiavelli would argue that this perception itself is a form of power. In a world addicted to expression, the silent observer becomes magnetic, intriguing, and slightly unpredictable. This unpredictability protects you. People cannot manipulate what they cannot read. Yet, Machiavellian silence is not about withdrawal or passivity. It's about choosing when to speak for maximum effect. When words are finally used, they strike with clarity and weight, carrying the full force of deliberate thought. In this way, silence becomes not absence, but strategy, a tool for influence and survival. The calm thinker, who listens deeply before responding, exudes authority without demanding it. He commands respect, not through volume, but through presence. In personal relationships, this same principle fosters empathy and understanding. In professional settings, it cultivates a reputation for thoughtfulness and discernment. The power of silence lies in how it reshapes perception. It turns every word you do speak into an event worth hearing. Machiavelli would have seen it as a reflection of inner discipline. The ability to control one's speech is the ability to control one's fate. So when you next enter a room, remember, the most powerful person is often not the one who talks the most, but the one who knows precisely when to say nothing at all. You don't need to be loved to be respected. What matters is your alignment with yourself, your reliability, your calm, your boundaries, and your quiet authority. These 6 principles drawn from Machiavelli and modern psychology outline a timeless truth, that respect is earned through internal order, not external approval. Over time, as you embody these principles, people will treat you differently, not necessarily with affection, but with recognition. And sometimes, respect lasts longer than love. Reflect on which of these 6 you will practice this week. Choose one and commit to it in silence. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you are on this journey of self-mastery, deep thinking, and personal sovereignty. Having said this,